Good morning, everyone. This is Jason Kuntz of the Christian Apologetics. I don't normally get on the weekend, but I was just found this page where it kind of discussed history of hymns and what brought about their authors to write them. And I think a common theme with some of the most popular hymns is sorrow, is sadness. They come out of a place of great loss of these authors who wrote them. Most of them were originally poetry, and then later song and music was made out of them. Much like our national anthem was a poem that was set to music later on, and then became our national anthem. But they came out of a place of much sorrow and much grief, and I was just a couple that just really stood out was It Is Well With My Soul. The author, it came from him learning of a shipwreck in the middle of the Atlantic, and his wife was the only one to survive. His 3 or 4 daughters, I can't remember how many, all died on that ship. They all drowned, and the wife sent a telegram, and of course they were a few words, and it says, I'm alive, but your daughters are dead. It's so many words. And he immediately hopped on a ship and went to go be with her. And over time on this ship, one of the crew members told him, so this is where this ship where your daughters drowned, the area where it happened. And he immediately started writing a poem, and that's where you get when sorrows like sea billows roll, and those things. And he says, it is well with thy soul. And that just speaks to the heart of a grieving father who's still able to look to God and understand that no matter what happens, no matter the circumstances, God is with us. God is there. His promises are true. And he knew that his daughters were in heaven. It's just amazing to think about. And then there was another well-known hymn of these students who later on had wrote a teacher or a professor of some sort, and said they just had to bury their wives. There was 2 or 3 of them all in the same time, and the professor wrote something out of Deuteronomy back to them, and it became one of our well-known hymns as well, and it was leaning on his everlasting arms. It's just amazing how, if you look at the origin of these hymns and where they came from, they came out of a place of deep grief and deep sadness and deep loss. And in some cases, that speaks to what God does. He can never replace that loss. That father could never replace his daughters, and right now he's well past and gone. We know he's reunited with those daughters because he clung to the Father. He clung to the one who promised eternity and promised that there'd be reunification. And it kind of speaks to our if we're going through hard times, if we're going through sorrow, we can cling to the Father. We can hold on to his promises. And that's why we are able to say it is well with our soul, and we can lean on his everlasting arms, because that's the hope, and that's the promise, and that's the redemption that we all cling to when things are going wrong. We know that even during the worst times, something beautiful can come out of it. And that's what happens, and only God can do that. Only God can give the words to a grieving father that is a hymn that all of us instantly recognize even to this day, hundreds of years later. And so today I just wanted to offer you that little bit of history of the hymns and help you to understand that even when you're going through the worst, even when the worst happens, you can cling to the Father. You can cling to his everlasting arms and say, it is well with my soul. I'm actually interested in diving more of the history of these hymns and understand their origins and why their authors wrote them and why they were inspired, because I believe it's probably a very beautiful stories, much like these sad stories, but we can also gain some lessons from them. So today, if you're going through some hard times, if you're going through something very hard, cling to the Father in his everlasting arms, and that's how we can say, even in the tumultuous seas of life, it is well with my soul. I just wanted to offer you that encouragement today, and I hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and God bless.